Welcome to Politics Done Right. I am your host, Egberto Willies. This is the progressive program that will take the mystery out of politics. This is the program that will encourage you to make sure government becomes we the people. Whether you are liberal, conservative, or otherwise, you get to air your point of view. Remember, you can also send me a tweet to EGBERTOWILLIES. That is, at Egberto Willies. Let us engage. It is politics done right.
1, 2, 3.
Well, folks, welcome to one more edition of Politics Done Right. I'm Egberto Willies, your host. Thank you so kindly for being a part of the show. We are going to have a great show for you today. Today in the room, you know who I have. It's the one and only, the hippie Texan, also known as Chase Escamilla, the digital expert. Chase, how are you doing today, my brother?
I'm doing beautiful. Thanks for having me.
Well, you know something? This is a time where it is important that we start letting people know exactly what is going on in the network, exactly what's going on throughout the throughout the system, and given we have an important subject to tackle today, first of all, and it's going to be abortion, and I'm going to want to kind of get some of your opinions on that as well. But one of the things we have to do is let people know. On 314, I see you there waiting. I'll get to you in a little bit after. You know what? Give me about 5 minutes so that we can get some of this going, and then I'll get to you 314. But anyhow, yeah, this abortion issue right now is a serious issue, Chase, and I want to tackle that up front before we start talking about digital media and politics and what can be involved in there. So what I want to tell folks is this. I have been very concerned as far as how conservatives have been very anti-democratic in the way they do things. In other words, it doesn't matter what people want. It doesn't matter what people believe their civil liberties are. It is not being respected. Right now, I want you to listen, first of all, to a video. This is in Alabama. An Alabama senator confronting a conservative senator on his activities to control a woman's reproductive system. I want you to listen to this and listen to it in the correct context. And here we go. And then we'll come back after this.
Do you know what it's like to be raped?
No, ma'am, I don't.
Do you know what it's like to have a relative commit incest on you?
On me? No, ma'am.
Yes, on you. Okay. So that's one of those traumas that a person experiences, just like that child experienced. And to take that choice away from that person who had such a traumatic act committed against them, to be left with the residue of that person, if you will, to have to bring that child into this world and be reminded of that every single day. Some people can do that. You know, some people can, but some can't.
Sure.
So, but why would you not want a woman to at least have that exception for such a horrific act?
Because I believe that when that unborn child becomes a person, and we need legal guidance on when that is.
But that's not your business. That is not your business. You don't have to raise that child. You don't have to carry that child. You don't have to provide for that child. You don't have to do anything for that child. But yet, you want to make the decision for that woman that that's what she has to do.
Friends, please click the button. Now, folks, think about that. Look at how those people were appearing inside of that chamber. There was no empathy. There was no compassion from the people listening. He just could, as a man, and I don't understand how there are men who can't see it. He could not understand that forcing this woman to keep something in her placed against her will, somehow it's okay. It's okay. Chase, chime in here a bit. What do you think? Give me your thoughts on this particular issue.
Oh, well, Alberto, I mean, on women's rights, abortion. I mean, I just totally feel like we're going backwards, and I think it's totally up to, it's a woman's choice to do what they want to do with their bodies. There's so many details and so many different factors that come into play. It can't just be a generalized yes or no. So the way we're going about it, there's so many different things that we can work together and find solutions. But to me, it's not the government's job to predict or be in the middle of at all. So
you know what is so interesting? I am when it comes to abortion, I want to see abortion, as if I like abortion for birth control, or if I believe in abortion. I wouldn't want my daughter to have an abortion, okay? But I also wouldn't want to be the person controlling her and telling her what she can do or what she can and cannot do with her body. I do not believe at all that is my right, that is my position. That should have no bearing in who, in what I'm doing. What do you think? Shouldn't have any bearing, should it?
no, and at all. And I think you're correct, 100% on that.
Now let me go ahead and bring the caller in, and then we'll move on from there. Caller at 314. Before we get a little bit further into this, do you want to add your 2 cents, your 20 cents, your empathy to the discussion? 314, you're hot.
I applaud Alabama and the other states for what it is that they're doing.
Okay.
Me being a black African American of this country, a natural born, I applaud this administration also. Let me tell you something.
Yes.
So I hear these things about what should be done, and one lady was talking to Trevor Noah, and she made mention that conservatives we should make available free condoms, free contraceptive, and free birth control.
Okay.
See, these people always want something for free. But guess what? Those 3 items, and I gave the locations of where they are being given out free in the St. Louis area. They are being given out free. And here's the thing, and not only that, kids come in to the one place and get them at random, no matter how old they are. And the thing that I hated is Obama and Hillary. Obama and Hillary was going around in other African countries and waving the aid carrot, AID, which is money, and demanding countries to open up to abortion on demand, same-sex marriage, and so on and so on. It was done in Liberia. It was done in Nigeria. It was done in Zambia. I believe it was done in either Ethiopia or Kenya, probably both of them. And that's something that I was totally against, giving U.S. dollars to foreign Planned Parenthood programs that encourage abortion. Then, like you just got through saying about your daughter, did you know that a 12-year-old girl can get the morning after pill, or basically abortion on demand without letting the child know?
Yes, I do know that.
Did you know that that was?
Yes, I do know that.
Yeah, that is totally terrible. And see, it's also getting to the point too. It's not that we're telling a lady a female, they can't have an abortion, but at some point in time, that is a child that's in her womb. That child has a heartbeat and every other thing.
Now, let me just say one thing.
It's about the right to life.
This sounds like wrong, Unky. Let me tell you something, okay? I hear you, and you have.
And wait a minute, I got a couple more things, and I'm done.
Okay, go ahead.
Because I won't stay on no longer than I have to.
Go ahead, sir.
Black women was having abortion at the rate since 1973 up to about 2005 at the rate of 50 per hour. That's conservative.
I don't know where you're getting those numbers, but I mean,
no, wait a minute. Hold on.
Go ahead.
I was getting it from the CDC because anytime you have an abortion, you had to have a report. You had to report it. And also another organization called Glockmark. And also there's another company, another organization called Ma'afa 21, which is a black company, a black organization that kept track of them. You can go to their website today. 50 per hour through probably 2018, there has been over 20 million black abortions. In the state of Alabama alone, black participation in abortion is about at the rate of 60%.
Okay.
Arkansas, 51%.
Right.
Delaware, 43%. Mississippi, 78% of the abortions are black women.
Okay, look, I get what you're trying to promote, but let me ask you to do me a favor, because I would
No,
like
it's
to
not
see,
what I'm trying to promote. I'm just putting the facts out there.
That's fine, and when you put facts like that out, that when you start doing the numbers, it sound inconceivable. You probably want to have numbers, so where my web page is or where my page is. I would love to see where you found those numbers, and I'll go look them up as well. But I appreciate your call. I appreciate you constantly listening, my friend. You do have the right to your opinion, and I respect that you have the right to your opinion. I completely disagree with it. I completely disagree that you as a man...
you can't disagree on the school closing.
Let me finish. I made you talk, right? Okay, I tell you something. All of the conservatives that I see out there that are so concerned about these issues, when it comes to opening the pocketbook of our social safety net, you're generally not there, and that causes a hell of a lot more debts than anything else put together. But I have to go to another call, my friend. Go ahead,
I can address that right there,
real
too.
Real quick.
I'll hold on.
Okay, great.
No, I'll hold on, and I'll mute myself.
All right, great. All right, let me go to 512, and 512, let's come on in.
Hi.
Hi, how
you doing?
I am doing fine. Talk to me.
I'm extremely fired up about this that's going on right now.
Mm-hmm.
We have, just like Chase said, we are going backwards, and women are not going to stand up for this anymore. The government has no place at all to tell a woman what she can and cannot do to her body.
Right.
Because no man has any repercussions if he gets a woman impregnated after that. There are women who have partners that take the contraception off while they're, and they get pregnant. They have men that just, they get a woman pregnant, they run off. What happens? That woman is left stuck taking care of that child. But my main thing is, I believe that being brought up. This is a religious, I'm trying to think of the word, but
I got you. I understand what you're saying.
The politicians are bringing religion into this, and we know that in America, religion and government need to be separate. Don't put your religion on me. My ovaries, my choice. I 100% believe that if men were the one who carried children and were left to be responsible for these children, if the woman ran off, this would not even be a discussion.
There is no doubt.
It would be...
There is no doubt that you're... What is your name, ma'am, if you don't mind using your first name?
Danielle.
Danielle, there is no doubt that you're absolutely right. But Chase wants to say something here. Chase has a point. Go ahead, Chase.
Well, and I was just going to piggyback off of what Danielle was saying. I mean, we're in 2019, and religion. It's like we've passed these bills, and this is all by design. Like she was saying, religion. How did we pass these bills before we even passed gun legislation?
Exactly.
And there's so many things that we can go on, and it's not. It's like we're trying to go backwards, but this is a good opportunity because we can find truth in seconds. Like, we're in the information age. We're in the digital age. You guys can Google while we're having this conversation on the impacts of taking rights away from women. And like I said, like Danielle was saying, if this was a men, if these were men, we would not have this conversation. Period.
We wouldn't. You would be able to have an abortion in a clean environment. It would probably cost you $50, and there would be absolutely no stigma. I'm not saying that men can't take care of things, but this is still a white privileged man's world. It is.
Well, Danielle, I don't know if you saw the. I don't mean to interrupt you, but I really want to ask you.
I'm sorry.
No, not at all. Please, I want to know if you saw the video that I showed where the state senator in Alabama was confronting one of the conservative senators, male senators, and how he was so nonchalant about the controls he wants to have on her. I mean, to him, it was just like, I have the right. It's like he believes he has the right to tell you what you can do with the cells in your body, infringing on you.
Well,
go ahead.
And this takes me back because I really like a show that's called on Netflix. It's called Call the Midwife. Mm-hmm. And this is back in the 60s, 50s, mm-hmm. which was not that long ago. That's our parents. These are men and politicians that were raised in that era where the woman stayed home, the man worked at the post office and could afford 2 cars, a home, 4 kids, and not worry about it. So we are not keeping up with what's going on and how fast things are changing. And these politicians are not keeping up with that as well. But I'm telling you that the millennials and those that are younger are not going to stand up for it anymore.
Are you a millennial?
Those of us in our mid-30s.
I am so...
I'm kind of on the cusp. I'm on the cusp. I'm 38, so I think 35 is the millennial, the end of millennial.
I tell you, Danielle, let me tell you something. I'm a baby boomer who believes he's a Gen X. In other words, I'm at the cusp of baby boomer, which means there's a 3-year window between Gen X and baby boomer. I fit within that window, so I always tell people I'm a Gen X. I want to feel younger. But anyhow, the real deal is this: I've been working. I work mostly with the millennials, and the reason why, that's why I'm also here with my brother Chase Escamilla and these other folks, because this is where it's at. When I say this is at, I think our generation have screwed things up enough, and we've really screwed things up enough, and enough of it. I want a new breed to come in here and change things, and I want to be that facilitator, listening to some of what they have to say, and then promoting it and saying, "Yeah, this is how we are going to get out of here," because we did a terrible job in what we're leaving the millennials right now.
There's so many facets of it, and that's one of the great things about what Chase is talking about with technology, mm-hmm. is that now we are more informed, and now we can, as millennials and those that want to get their voices heard, we can get together and say, we don't want to do this anymore.
Right.
It's not fair. I have a daughter that I did not plan on having, but I was older. An abortion didn't even cross my mind, mm-hmm. but that was me. I do not have a bit of any kind of judgment towards any woman who has made that decision. That is her decision. They should not be sad about it. Or I'm sorry, I didn't mean to say they shouldn't be sad about it. Of course,
I know exactly what you mean.
But I'm saying they should not.
You want to be the word you want to use is that they shouldn't be ashamed of it. They shouldn't be stigmatized or ashamed of what they had to do. Right.
Exactly. They should be supported. They should be given the mental health care afterwards. They should be given the path going forward. These girls need to be told, to be taught and told that you take the birth control into your hands as well. Don't just trust, because in all honesty, if you think that these boys in high school are not telling these girls things that they believe and that they want to hear to actually get what they want, they need to teach these young boys as well. Take contraceptive into your own hands.
Exactly.
Be responsible.
Let me tell you something that is interesting, Danielle, because I'm looking at some of the information on Facebook, some of the people that are watching on Facebook Live, and we had Mike Cesek, who said, we shouldn't shame people for killing innocent people, as a question, and government has the duty to protect innocent people from others who want to harm or kill them. To be sure, these are men speaking, right? But what is interesting is they want the government to protect. They want the government to protect innocent lives, right? But we have no problems when the government goes out there and start wars, as they came to Panama, my country of origin, and killed over 10,000 Panamanians. And the UN says 4,000 Panamanians. The Americans said 1,000. They forget that is killing. All right? They forget that it's killing.
Right.
Danielle, you have anything to add before I go to the other caller?
Well, the only thing I have to say is when it comes to taking away their guns, they're 100% there to fight.
Right.
And when it comes to rights for women, they are 100% there to put us back in our place. And we're not going to put up with it anymore.
And let me tell you, though, Daniela, as talking to you, man to woman, one of the upsetting things that I have is how many women, in fact, the governor who signed that bill in Alabama, it's a woman.
Yes.
Okay? And I need to get to some extent a bit racial here. The idea that too many white women are subjugating themselves to the patriarchy, not only, and by the way, you know, in this country, is really a hindrance to the country at large. I mean, I can understand some people wanting to remain in power, but it's imperative that these women join the fold. And, you know, this is not a racial issue. This is a human issue. And right now, too many of them are making it a racial issue.
What a topic.
And I also believe that I also think they're also making a political issue, because I really do believe that a lot of those that voted know that the people that are going to vote for them to get back into office are religious and are anti-abortion, and they're the ones that are going to get them that seat again.
Thank you.
Well, I appreciate it, guys. And it is a very sensitive topic, but it needs to be talked about.
Thank you so kindly for calling in, Danielle. Chase, you want to add to that before I go to 207?
No, I'm just here. It's very complex, and again, we should have more women on here, because at the end of the day, we know that the women, our daughters, they're outnumbering us men.
I will have a woman on next week. I was supposed to be in touch with her yesterday. Things kind of got out of hand, but I'm going to be in touch with her after the show. And I want to, you're absolutely right, woman's perspective. 207, come on in, 207.
Good afternoon. My name is Melissa.
Melissa,
and
how are you doing today?
I am a Generation Xer.
Okay.
I'm excellent. And women will take to the streets, I promise you, if this keeps going. This cannot happen. It cannot happen.
Well, I do. I hope so.
Abortion is not for me, but I want that option open to my daughters, my nieces, anybody around me.
Well, you know
Their
what?
body, their right.
Right. You know, too many people don't see abortion they see abortion as a one-way religious thing. They don't see it as an economic issue. Abortion is an economic issue. I mean, Danielle made such an important point that you have you have a partner that is, let's say that it's a liar, unfair, and gets you pregnant even though both of you had agreements, and then leaves. Is the state going to be there for you? Is that person have just destroyed your personal economy? Should that happen? And then they can say, but that was a life. No, it was not a life. We determine when a life begins, when a baby is born. That's when a life begins, not how long science can keep a baby artificially alive. I mean, when
I always thought it was when they were viable to survive outside of the womb.
Here, I mean, and right? That's fine. We can decide as a society what we want to make it, right? My thing is that society better be darn sure to have women in that room making that decision, because ultimately women are the ones that carry the baby. Ultimately, women are the one also in our patriarchal society that does more of the taking care of the baby. So I'll be damned if I am going to be the one making the rules of engagement for a woman and the child.
And from what I understand, Pennsylvania passed something that you can't have an abortion if the child is Down syndrome.
I don't know. I have...
that was this week.
Right.
Yeah.
Anyhow, anything else you want to add before we go to the other call, ma'am?
I think that's it. I just wanted to say hi to Mr. Pianchi. I heard his voice.
Okay, yeah.
Mr. Bianchi.
Bianchi was here a few. That is our good conservative friend that calls in all the time. I love Bianchi. I love all my listeners because you know what? Exchange of
you.
ideas. Thank you so kindly for calling in. Okay.
Thank you.
Bye bye. Okay, let's go to 209. Come on in 209. How are you doing today?
Hello, Egberto. It's Sally here.
Hey, Sally. How are you doing, my
And
friend?
I just have to point out the hypocrisy of these pro-lifers that are nowhere to be found when there's an execution about ready to be carried out.
It's amazing,
You
isn't
know,
it?
it is amazing. It seems like the life only matters when it's in the woman's womb. Once the life comes into the world, you're on your own.
That is exactly how it seems. And actually, we don't have to say that is how it seems. We already know that is the way it is. You don't see them passing laws that prop up kids. You try to have a law that makes lives better for kids, somehow it's a giveaway, it's socialism, it's all these things. You try to do something positive, but if it's controlling a woman's body by forcing a fetus to remain, oh my God, it's the end of the world. And I don't want to make light of this at all. I mean, this is a serious issue for women, and women don't just go and most women don't use abortion simply as what is the word, Chase, for birth control. They don't use it for
Birth control.
Right.
No,
Right.
no, we don't. And it is, you know, they act like we take this lightly when we don't. And but again, I just have to go back to the hypocrisy. It's you know, where are these people protesting an execution about ready to be carried out?
Right, exactly.
You know, they're non-existent then, but they're all over the abortion clinics, and you know, and then again we have this misconception that Planned Parenthood is nothing but does nothing but abortions, when in fact they provide health care for women who need it.
Exactly. Well, you know what? I appreciate you calling. Anything else you want to add before Chase and I are going to go into the second topic of the show is digital, the digital media, digital politics. So anything else you want to add on this particular subject? And if anybody's listening who wants to chime in real quickly on this abortion issue, please do so, and let's close that out. Anything else you want to add, Sally?
No, I spoke my piece. Thanks, Egberto,
Thank
and you guys have a great weekend.
You too. Thank you so kindly,
Appreciate
my friend.
it.
You take care now. Folks, the telephone number is 646-716-5812. You're going to want to ask Chase anything. Chase is a digital expert. Chase knew that Trump was going to get people voting in the right places based on the social media construct before it happened. Chase, why don't you tell us a little bit about that story, about Clinton and what happened with social media and all that good stuff?
We're going to start about 2 years ago part of what we're doing now and part of what we do in digital media, I run a digital media company, as we know, and we do use technology, and we do watch the markets and understand how trends and everything works. What was fascinating to us was a lot of it has to do with timing. And the reason why Trump was put in-house by, let's say, an AI bot technology was because of the opportunity, the disconnect. There are a certain amount of people, I have some numbers written down. There's 3.4, I say around closer to 5 billion people a day that are on social media sites. You can pick one. There's 4 major ones that run the world. Facebook, Instagram are the 2 top ones. You can be strategic in your demographics. And what they did was they went straight to the people. Trump's media company went straight. And that's why he said, this is what we're going to do. We're going to go through Pennsylvania. We're going to go up through Ohio. And we're going to go and break the blue wall. A lot of people were, no, that it can't happen. Well, no, the changing demographics you can see from basically the whole United States you can put on one computer. 300 million people isn't a lot of people in a global connected economy. and world that we live in, our kids will grow up in. This is the first year of the digital age. And when someone else will, let's say Hillary Clinton said no to social media, you're basically
explain that. What is exactly happened between? I think they offer both Facebook offered help to Clinton and to Trump, right?
Yes, sir. And Donald Trump said we're going to use Facebook, and I think the majority of his win was from Facebook. And we can get into artificial intelligence, the importance of it, but I'll let you guys go on there. We can go, like I said, we can go on for days about that. Just Google artificial intelligence. Look it up on YouTube. There's a lot smarter people than I am. Sam Harris to Tesla, the people that truly understand basics and how trends work. How does a car drive itself? Why is it more efficient? Why is machine learning so important? And the reason why I talk about these things is because people for the past 10 years, I've been building for the past 5 years, are moving away from that system that our parents grew up in. Third generations of wealth aren't there anymore. It's me, it's us, millennials, that move, that market, and the way that things trend are just keywords. So they were going based on those things. Whether it was fake or real, that's why they call it the X-ray on the human soul, because it's truth. We can find the truth in seconds, and there's no emotion involved. It's going to the people. And again, I'm not a big political guy. I'm a fighter, and I'm a progressive guy. But now things have to come from the bottom, brick by brick by brick. And you have to have patience. But at that time, when he was getting elected, we said, as soon as she said no, there was no chance, because they are going to run those ads on you over and over and over. And I think the numbers, and again, you guys can look it up on YouTube while we're talking. I think the States was the quickest to radicalize in the entire country, or in the entire world, period.
United States.
In the United States, because they saw the opportunity and the disconnect of our demographics. So basically running ads against each other, and it's our fault, the human, right, that in the United States, to not say, hey, this isn't the truth. There's a reason why he brands things every 30 days. And again, that's just basics at the time. And I was fascinated because we are inside applications now, or do you want to call it inside the machine?
Explain what that means. A lot of people don't understand when you say that.
Platforms are what you have. We are on a platform now. And now that things are changing because of technology and 5G networks, the whole world's connected on the same platforms. You're not going to go on CNN and get 100 people to watch. You know how they have the headline cross the screen and moves people left and right? That's not how things work anymore. People have built up their platforms because that's who you are, your brand. That's why things are changing. Celebrities are no longer. Where are the celebrities? It's because the new celebrities are inside social media, inside applications. And when I mean that, for example, I have some numbers, and I'm just going to, like Amber.
We want to hear those, because this has political implications, and that's why we brought you on here, because what I want for the progressives that are listening here, and, I'd like them to see that the conservatives are already working hard on this stuff.
And they know it, and they have 2 years of data built up from when they started using the technology on their own people. Now it's going to take someone to really, really fight every day. That's why I said it's like scratching a lottery ticket to go viral. What do I mean when I say that? I say that because there is everyone's using the same platform. Everybody has an iPhone or a smartphone. So you're moving that market within I think it was 24 hours when Trump was starting to use his technology. It's AI. He started using that, but now it's fully 100% platform based. So now that I think it's 88% of Americans in my demographics use social media. So we feel left out when we don't watch TV. We don't spend 6 hours at the diner reading the newspaper.
Right.
There's too much going on. And when I say it's like a lottery ticket, that means there's people using machines, views, comments, and likes are based on that person. So if you're not going out there and using your platforms correctly, your odds of being seen are like zero. So that's why it's so important, especially people like you, Alberto, that come on, use your platform, interact, engage, show transparency. That's what it's about, and that's the world we will grow up in, our kids will grow up in for the next 100 years. Remember 10 years ago when we were saying, let's talk about the future.
Right.
What happened?
This happened.
This happened. So what are we going to do about it now?
The smart ones of us have to learn what we're talking about here, and not only that, we're going to have to learn how to change and use it. And for the older folks that kind of refuse to do this, we're going to have to engage them, Chase.
It's an ego thing.
Yes, we are going to have to show the change. And one of the things that you hear me talk about all the time, I am not into the selfish thing, but the selfless thing. And what I mean by that is I want to use these platforms, and that's why I've engaged you for quite some time now. I want to use these platforms so that other people are doing the same thing that we are doing, so that we can increase our performance geometrically, not arithmetically, but geometrically, so that we can really talk about when we talk about the change that we need to make, that is what it's going to take. We're going to have to learn how to reach people. We're going to have to learn how to deprogram people. I have a lot of people who follow me that are still, and I'm not only talking about conservatives, I'm talking about others as well, that are programmed into the institutions. You hear us talk a whole lot, sometimes offline, about different economic systems or whatever, as if economic systems are divine. We have to find ways that we can talk to people and get around all the other minutiae that's coming around them using this AI technology, as well as all these performance issues that you talk about.
Shout out Trent, appreciate it, guys. And I have a lot of guys that are in my demographics that this is what we do. You have to learn every single day. This is the first year of the digital age. After 300 years of prosperity, every country on earth will go through growing pains. So this is all by design. And when you talk about systems, what do you mean? There is no systems. The systems are broken. When I said when I said everyone, Facebook, for example, when you give somebody the live button, you're giving them the power to change things or not change things. There's always a downside and there's always a positive side. So there's too many people not focused on what matters and where the people are. Don't leave the people out, go to the people. So we can go on and on about that, but 80% of people shop online. Today's world is about saving time.
I want you to explain something, because even shopping online has political implications. Why don't you explain some of that?
Political implications
with regards to, knowing that you're going to go out and buy a cross or a flag, or the items that you buy using AI, they can actually create and construct a profile about you to determine how to market a political candidate to you based on all these types of demographics. And I think it is important for people to realize that everything that they move on, everywhere they move online right now, given that it's tracked, give those people all the information they need to really learn about you without you saying, I am Egberto Willies and this is what I believe in. Mm-hmm. They know what you believe in based on what you act. Now, there are professionals who know how to act out. In other words, what I do online sometimes is I do things that are non-standard. In other words, I do things that are anathema to the way I am. That way, when I'm profiled, I won't only be profiled as a left-wing progressive.
Sure.
I will be profiled as, we don't quite know, because he's also, is he really Tea Party or not? Did he buy any Tea Party stuff? Yeah. And the reason you do all, is so that the system, when I talk about system, the AI and all these things can't capture you and say, this is exactly who you are, and this is how we market to you. And then that way you have a tendency to play in that nebulous field, that nebulous area where things can happen. So go ahead and kind of...
Every single thing we do and say is going to be tracked here on out. We're all data, right? And that's what I think. That's what we're.
That's what I'm saying. You mentioned that we are the platform.
We are the platform. We're all data. And when you say people, oh, somebody hacked my Facebook account, Well, what are they gonna take? Your baby photos? I don't know. We've got to get into this. We've got to have some tough skin. We've got to know that not everything is about yourself. We're in an economy where it's more of an inclusive economy, like branding, right? Branding is everything because there is no more middleman. There is not a 70-year-old guy sitting around controlling the market anymore. It is Google or that AI bot that develops your algorithm. So you are data, and there are consumers, and then if you consume at a certain level, you are either put in A, B, C, or D. There's 4 categories that Google puts everybody in. And we can put the whole United States in 4 categories. And which category are you? A, B, C, or D? And I can tell you 70% of the U.S. is in that A category. And the roles are reversed. Like I said, third generations of money are running out. And I know this might hurt some feelings, but with the what is it, the income, the
Right,
equality,
yeah.
the gap, how it's spread, it's just going to get even worse, I think, in my opinion.
Oh, it is.
People like us young people, or I'm not young, but I'm a millennial. We see and we learn from the mistakes.
Right.
Don't talk to strangers. Well, we love talking to strangers because that's how you help people, right? You have to teach and show every day because nobody has the answers. If they say they do, run far from them. Run far as you can, because I've been in this application, I've been learning applications and the way things move for the past 3 or 4 years, and I can tell you that everything is moved based on you and your platform and what you're doing. It's like Amazon. Those ads, when you click, it's the same thing.
It follows you.
It follows you.
I mean, I'm looking for some backpacks, some good backpacks, right? And now I can't go onto my own website that has a few ads on it. My own website tracks me for this briefcase, this backpack that I'm looking for, and it's going to keep tracking me until I buy a backpack.
Oh wow! Yeah, and that's a plugin. That's
exactly
based on your algorithm, and that's based on you and your backpack.
Right.
So.
Now, anyway, Chase, I told you I wanted you on this show to kind of turn people on a little bit to what's going on in the digital world, and one of the reasons I wanted you here is, like I said, I believe in not selfish but selfless, which means kind of get people to understand that this is the way of the future, and these are the things that we're going to have to do, and encourage other people to do what we are doing, and letting them know that you can do it. Because like I said, what we need is geometric progression here. What we need is a whole lot of people doing this sort of thing, meaning going online. However, you don't have to. You can be as complex as we are here, more complex, or less complex. But the thing about it is, those of us with with a progressive, truthful point of view, we need to get it out there, because those folks that are on the traditional media right now, they are continuing to hold on to power. They're continuing to hurt millennials like yourself with what they're hoping to do. We have to make that paradigm change, and the paradigm change will only come faster if more of us engage into this type of material.
And that's, I agree. I agree.
So it is something that we have to do. So let me ask you something. I want to also use this time for you to tell folks. I mean, this is going to be podcasted as well, and this is going to be other places. Why don't you tell folks a little bit of what you do and what you can do for folks in this space? Because I think it's important that folks know that there are avenues that they can go to. What do you do?
Well, we run a digital media company, and it's based on today's market. We know after February, when the economy or the transfer, whatever you want to call it, happened, we knew that you needed video, pictures, and audio.
Right.
Right? And if you didn't have those 3 things, you would not survive.
Right.
Because why? We can list them out, right? There's so much digital trash, there's so many ads, there's fake, there's bots, there's AI, there's all these things, right? So one of the reasons I started our company was because we wanted to help companies, especially small businesses. We think it's the best time ever to be either make a comeback or not. Don't be the 18,000 brick and mortars that are going out of business this year. It's not, because the economy is different. You have the whole world that you can connect to. Your product can go, for example, if you share this feed or our video now, we can go around the world and back in seconds. And to me, that's a beautiful thing. But now you have to show people, you have to teach people and learn, because we're all learning together. And part of what our company does is we show you the numbers. We show you, because everything is based on an algorithm or a time, right? The machine, the middleman, there's not a system anymore, right? The capitalistic system where you will never get ahead. You're going to work your whole life to get to get to a title. And my generation doesn't believe in that. We believe in working and building and helping. And I'm not saying for everyone, but I'm saying for the people that see the opportunity, that's what we're doing.
And not only that, you're there. Yes, you building, and this is free enterprise. You started your company where you're doing digital management. You're bringing a whole lot of companies, political and otherwise. So those politicos that are listening, that's what he does. And those folks that have regular good old companies that want reach, that's what he does as well. Now,
we all start at zero. And if you can't start at zero, and if you don't believe that you can't start in the middle, you have to start at zero. And we did some political campaigns, and
yeah, I know you sure did, and some of your folks actually won.
Yeah, we got some political people elected, but in that in itself was a struggle, because one of the things we do is we say go to the people. Yes, you knock on doors. Yes, you're going to have to make phone calls. But if you go live, and for example, Beto, why did he shake so many people?
Right.
Because he was going and being consistent with his platform through Facebook, through Instagram, because he was reaching millennials, because millennials are inside creating content, video, more of a independent entrepreneur spirit, whether when the other guys were going on CNN or some TV channel, that those stations need these applications and the social media to survive. People aren't sitting around watching TV like they did 20 years ago. And the reason for that is many things, right? Technology. Technology is king. Brand is king. And there's so many very different factors, but that's part of what we do. And we saw that it's a huge need. And when we saw Donald Trump doing what he was doing with the ads and it was working, it's just fascinating to us. People need to get better, and that's what we're doing. We all want to get better, and we're hopefully we can do this together.
Absolutely. So, folks, it's already 48, so I have to go ahead and do my quick plug here. Folks, those of you who are watching, please do remember that this is a call-in show, and I want to advise you to please become a member of Politics Done Right. Go ahead and go to patreon.com/politics done right. That is patreon.com/politics done right. Look, you're on Facebook, you're on what's that thing that you stream videos on? What is it called? Netflix. Netflix costs you $14 a month or something to get misinformed in the political realm. Why not spend $1.99 or $4.99 to subscribe to Politics Done Right? That is how we are going to, this particular part of this domain, that is how we are going to make that change. Patreon.com/Politics Done Right. We always say, why don't you give Politics Done Right a cup of coffee a month? Why not? Or you can always go to politicsdoneright.com and be a contributor to keep this stuff going. Everybody who goes ahead and subscribe to patreon.com on Politics Done Right gets all our books to read online. You get As I See It, Class Warfare, The Only Resort to Right-Wing Doom. Everything that you need to learn about the economy, patents, all of that is done in a manner that you can understand quite easily. So that when you have these crazies out there telling you, cutting taxes is going to really make the economy zoom. You know why? It is crap that they're telling you. The whole idea behind this is to make you literate in a form that you can understand. So that is, as I see it, class warfare, the only resort to right-wing doom. I'm currently writing How to Make America Utopia, Take Away the Economy from Those Who Rigged It. I'm on I've completed chapter 1 and chapter 2. I'm still writing chapter 3. And for all of you who over a month have been saying that, I'm sorry, but there's so much other things going on that I have to, but I got to catch up sometime and get chapter 3 out. We have 10 chapters to write, so it'll be done by the end of the summer. I hope all chapters. There's someday I'm going to go off to Galveston and just write, and put this stuff all together. So all of that would be online. And of course, you know my travails with weight that I got controlled over a few years ago. I decided to encapsulate the things that I did and lose weight and be fit now. Say no to snake oil weight loss. What is a political activist doing with a weight loss book? It's more of a weight loss journal on what to do. And you know what? It was like, hey, all of us live, all of us eat, all of us do these things, so we have to. So folks, that is a part of the thing. So please join patreon.com/politics done right. Again, that is patreon.com, patreon.com/politics done right. Become a part of what we do, because I'm telling you, what we do is very important. Chase, anything else you want to add before we're coming close to that hour, before we shut this baby down?
No, man. I appreciate you having me, and let me jump on your platform to kind of let me give some knowledge out.
Well, I mean, I think it's important because I think a whole lot of people just don't understand how. I mean, people see people do videos, right? You have some folks that are doing videos just for the sake of doing videos, and then there are others that are very strategic in how they're putting out videos, very strategic in what they're doing. I am trying to learn how to be much more strategic. I'm watching how you are doing things. I'm watching others how they're doing things to become strategic in using the platform to get the message out, to counteract those who are using the platform to cheat, those who are using the platform to misinform, something that we have to get done. So folks, if you're listening here, guys like Chase Escamilla, we from the hippie Texan, we need to be able to get some of the knowledge that these guys have on these digital platforms and learn how to use them effectively. You have people running here for dog catcher, people running here for mayor, people running here for state rep, people running here for commissioner, all these different positions. The ones who dominate in this field, because everybody is on one of these platforms, the ones who dominate in this field are the ones who are going to win. Whether, so I mean, if you're good at what you do, you can lose if you don't know how to use this platform.
Correct. And be consistent. Be consistent every single day. Don't give up. If you have something that you believe in, if you're a politician, you're a business person, you're a brand, we all have to go through the same cycle and the same process. That's the way it's by design, right? But everyone has to start somewhere, and if you feel lost, change the people you're listening to. We're all behind a screen, but just try to get something in every single day. Study if you have to. Just learn, and that's what we're all doing. I'm a visual person. We get our information from video because it's about time, and we want to spend more time with our families. We've learned from the past generations, and we're just trying to make it better, and that's what it's about. And I'll stay on my platform. You guys can see me at the Hippie Texan. We're doing a lot of cool things, helping a lot of companies, a lot of people, and we're not going to stop. We're going to be consistent, and we appreciate everything. And we just keep going. If you're watching this show and you feel down and you feel lost and you think things are moving fast, it's because they are. Slow it down. Slow it down. Time is money, and time is all we have. And use the tools, use the technology to slow that process down. And you can really, if you wanted to, have everything come to your house within 30 minutes, order all your groceries, buy all your products. Not saying that retail is going to go. Companies have to change the way their funding model is because things have changed. So hopefully this gave you guys some value, and that's what we do. We'll stay on our platform, and hopefully we all can do this together. Just keep going and keep rocking it, baby.
Absolutely. So, well, look, thank you so kindly for having been here, my friend. And folks, please remember to go to patreon.com/politics done right. My name is Egberto Willies with Chase Escamilla. And you know how I close this baby. My name is Egberto Willies. This is Politics Done Right. And we are what? Out.
Welcome to Politics Done Right. I am your host, Egberto Willies. This is the progressive program that will take the mystery out of politics. This is the program that will encourage you to make sure government becomes we the people. Whether you are liberal, conservative, or otherwise, you get to air your point of view. Remember, you can also send me a tweet to EGBERTOWILLIES. That is at Egberto Willies. Let us engage. It is Politics Done Right.
1, 2, 3.